Hello, this is a quick tutorial of Escape House of Horror. Right now we have it set up for 2 players. Each player selects a killer card, and you start the game with the trespasser icon at the front door, which is in the middle of the board, with 3 trespasser tokens here right beside that marker. And we have spells, we have rooms, and we have weapons. Now, the first player does not select a spell or a weapon initially, but the second player selects 1 spell and 1 weapon, and all weapons are placed face up. So, the first player goes, and they have to have a maximum of 3 room cards at all times. They select 1 room card, they place it down, and then you put the icon, the token onto the the trespasser token onto the room card, and this becomes the current room. And this token represents all of these markers over here. And all you have to do is you play out the text that's on the bottom of the room card. And this room card in particular says select 1 weapon, which we'll place here, face up, 1 spell, that is face down, and then over here at the last box it says add 2 cheerleaders markers to the trespasser pool. And there we go. And now this card says there's a skull in number 2. This killer has to eliminate 2 trespassers. So they use their weapons to eliminate the trespassers in the trespasser pool. So this weapon has a power of 2, and it can eliminate 1 trespasser only. So they're going to use this to eliminate this trespasser, and this becomes a point for the player. This weapon is discarded once it's used. And this trespasser is going to return back to the trespasser pool because the killer cannot eliminate this trespasser. And now this player receives 1 point of damage. And it's indicated by putting a marker on the actual killer card. Now it's the next person's turn. The same premise, you put down a room card, and the house builds. The trespasser moves on to the next card, and you play the text underneath. 1 spell, 2 weapons that are placed face up, and it says add 2 Marines and another 2 cheerleaders. And the card says to eliminate 2 trespassers. Well, I have several weapons here. I have 1 weapon that you can actually use twice by turning it sideways the first time. And that is the jackhammer. So I'm going to eliminate, it says it has a power of 3 and it can eliminate 2 trespassers. I'm going to eliminate these 2 trespassers, which is going to give me a total of 6 points. My turn is over. Now, each player has to have a maximum of 3 room cards. If they don't, they have to pick up room cards. So they'll pick them up and put them face down so they can see them, but no other players can. And it's just a matter of continually playing cards, and then it's the next person's turn. And they can play any of the 3 room cards that they have, and the room keeps on building until you get this card. Once this card is revealed, it's called the escape card. It has to be played immediately. You put the escape card down, and now the game changes. Now it's a race to the exit. So you got the killer icon now. You put on the escape card, and you leave the trespasser token, and you turn it around on the existing one that it was in the current room. So now the game's changed, where the killers have to eliminate the trespassers before they exit the House of Horror. Basically, if I'm within 1 room of the trespassers, I can use 1 weapon to eliminate as many trespassers as I can. If the trespassers are 2 rooms away, then I cannot attack a trespasser. If I'm in the same room as a trespasser, then I can use all my weapons to eliminate as many trespassers as I like. So in this instance, this room card, has text under the escape area of the card. This particular text applies to the token that's actually on the card itself. This escape text says add 1 cheerleader to the trespasser pool, so let's add that there. And now it's my turn, so I can only use one weapon to eliminate as many as I can. I'm going to use this weapon of 2 power and 2 strength to eliminate 2 trespassers, which gives me an additional 2 points. And now it's the next person's turn. But what you do is you advance the tokens 1 space, and then you look at the text underneath the escape area of the card and see if it applies to the token on the actual card. And this is the killer token, so the escape says add 1 trespasser, which doesn't apply to this token. This text says -1 strength to all trespassers. That means that their strength value decreases by a minimum of 1. So now it is the other player's turn, and they're going to try to eliminate, using their spells, as many as they can. And then when it returns back to my turn, you advance the tokens again, and then you read the text. It says add 1 trespasser of 4 strength to the actual trespasser pool. And if I want to eliminate this trespasser with 4 strength, I can actually combine my weapon power together. So if I combine these two, which has a 3 strength and a 2 strength, it can eliminate a trespasser of 4 strength. So I will do that, and I'll eliminate these 2 cards. Then you keep on playing until the trespasser pool is completely eliminated, or they exit the actual House of Horror. So if they exit, you have to add up all the trespassers that have left, and in this instance there's 5, which would eliminate both the killers. But let's say there's only 4, or let's say 3 trespassers left. Then you would add 3 points of damage, which is less than 5, so that means the killers are okay. And now it's just a matter of adding up the points. My particular character has 12 points, and this particular character in this example has 1, so my character would win. Hopefully that helped you.